Hey, Jared, just compared to some of your other stops in your career, I'm just curious if there's anything that you can kind of put your finger on about this place that makes it able to sustain success like they'll have the last 4 years.
I think it starts with the organization. The organization that has all their ducks in a row, that understands where they're trying to attack in the draft and free agency as well, and understanding your needs as a team. And then I think it's locker room, having a veteran presence-driven locker room with a lot of guys um, that understand that when it comes down to do your job, that you're ready and it's time to go to work. And then the players to do that job, bringing the right players in and having them in, definitely all make a difference.
So, I mean, it sounds like it's like a lot of like moving pieces that have to kind of come together.
Yeah, absolutely. And it starts at the top. When your organization has everything together at the top, um, the less miscommunication, the better. And then it kind of trickles its way down. But it starts up top and how they run their organization, the type of players that they have in the building, understanding what type of players would be good for their locker room. And then from there, uh, it just kind of operates like a machine.
Next one from Amos Morale.
Yeah, kind of following up on that. When you were a free agent a couple years ago, had you heard about the culture of the organization or anything like that when you were making your decision to come here?
Yeah, I called Chris Banjo. Me and Banjo played together in Green Bay, and we had always kept in touch and remained friends. And I just called him to kind of talk to him about the culture of the locker room, the organization, the offense, Coach Payton, the different other coaches on the coaching staff, how they acted. Um, and he was able to give me quite a bit of insight on the Saints, and just a little bit of kind of a window into the organization, so like I could have a better understanding on where I make my decision.
And I asked that because kind of asking if there's like a correlation between the depth you guys have built and that culture in the locker room and the organization.
Um, in reference to me,
But just the team in general. Like, if, a lot of guys, is this a place they want to come play? Is that how you guys?
yeah, absolutely. I definitely think it's a place that's on a lot of guys' list. Not only for the locker room presence but for the winning culture. That's huge, and that's a huge decision maker where guys want to go, or at least I think it should be. But yeah, Banjo was able to give me a lot of insight, and when you have a good locker room like that, it's easy for a free agent to kind of reach out to other guys on that team or that's involved on the team to find out the information that you need. So it definitely has a direct correlation in terms of free agency and when guys are asked to come here and what they're looking into.
Next one from Amy Jess.
Yeah, speaking of that locker room, Demario Davis was named the team's man of the year today. Just how special has it been to be in that locker room with him, just knowing all the things that he's done on and off the field?
Demario's a tremendous person. He's a good player. He's a great player, but even better person. Just a great man and with such a big heart, a love of God, and an understanding of people's attitudes and people's environments, where they come from and what they need. And I think he's been a huge vessel for what God is trying to do in many of our lives. And I think he lives it, and he's a prime example. It was COVID this off season, and Demario hit me up like, "Hey, you trying to get some work in?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, but my daughter's high risk, so I really couldn't." But that's just the type of dude Demario is. He's always trying to get better, always trying to improve his game. And the fact that he hit me up to get extra work, I really saw respect from him and the respect that he understands what type of player I am. So Demario is a tremendous human being and deserves it. Deserves every bit of it.
Next one's from Stacey Dales.
Hey Jared, I'm just curious, what impresses you most about Sean Payton's adaptability? You go 5-0 with Teddy last year, you've gone 3-0 with Taysom. The offense might change a little bit, but he adapts around the quarterback, and you guys, there's no drop off. What impresses you about that with him?
One thing about Coach P, man, is he knows the game in and out, and he's gonna study it, man. That's one thing I love about being here is going into the game on Sunday, you're going to be as prepared as possible, and you're going to understand everything you're about to see going into the game, and he's going to make sure of it. Another thing I love about Coach P is that he makes sure it gets sometimes it gets us into a bit of trouble, but he makes sure that when he calls a play in a certain situation that he's going to get to the right play. And, it may take him a little while on the sideline to get that play in there, but for sure that when that play is coming in, it's going to try to gash the defense as best as possible. He studies film like no other, and he'll be up here all night just trying to figure out defenses and figure out plays to ensure that we have the right plays on offense on Sunday, and I think he does a great job of preparing his quarterbacks for that, understanding the situations that they're going to get, and when they're in those situations, if it's a bad one, how to get out of it, but if it's a good one, how to understand what we're trying to do to run the play and how we're trying to move the ball. So preparation is tremendous, game planning is tremendous, and they really set the bar and go above and beyond on that.
Next one's from Rob Walker.
Hey Jared, I know this is your first year playing with Malcolm, but Malcolm Jenkins, I know, but he's a guy that everybody in the league knew stuff about. But why is he so respected around the league? And he's getting a chance to go home this weekend, and they're looking forward to seeing him. But why is he so respected around the league?
I just, he's another guy like Demario. A little bit more quiet and a little bit more subtle in his approach, but still a great man and a great leader in terms of where locker room goes. And I just think he's a real world person. He looks at the world for what it is and understands what the world's given to him, and he makes those adjustments out of it to help himself, people like him, and others. Going on this journey in the NFL, I've learned that one of the hardest things to do is fight for the people that may look like you, and let me go back. One of the hardest parts of an activist is fighting for people that look like you, without those same certain people that look like you giving you the respect for that, or not necessarily understanding your place or where you're trying to get them in life. You're trying to make them better, and make them grow and be better in life. And I think that's one thing that's very respectable about Malcolm is he's trying to get players like himself and players like me and players that look like him to a better place in life, a better place of understanding, a better place of growth. And in terms that's uplifting the culture as a whole, and also the culture of colored people in general. And that's one thing that's so respectable about him, is that he's always going to pursue that, and he's never backed down from that at all. He's always been a strong voice for us in this league, with things on the field and off the field, and also in the world in terms of injustice. And I think that's something that's incredibly hard to do, and something that's super respectable.